All right, news just in indicate that the chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Charlotte Osei, has been removed. We have a statement coming in from Jubilee House, and I'm going to be bringing that to you in a bit. All right, so President Akufo-Addo removes EC chairperson and his two deputies from office. And it says the President of the Republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, has on Thursday, June 28, 2018, removed from office the chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Mrs. Charlotte Osei, and her two deputies, Mr. Amadou Sule and Ms. Georgina Opoku-Amankwa, with immediate effect. This was after the committee set up by the Chief Justice, Justice of Akufo, pursuant to Article 146 of the Constitution, to investigate separate complaints brought against the three persons by Ghanaian citizens, recommended their removal from office. The committee recommended their removal on the basis of stated misbehavior and incompetence pursuant to Article 146 of the Constitution. The provisions of Article 146, subsection 9 of the Constitution require the President of the Republic to act in accordance with the recommendations of the committee. And President Akufo-Addo has directed the three persons to hand over their respective schedules to the Director for Human Resource and General Services of the Electoral Commission and thank them for their services to the nation. And it's signed by the Minister for Information and Presidential Spokesperson, Mustafa Abdul Hamid. Let's get on to the phone lines and speak live to Eugene Ahin. He's the Director of Communications at Jubilee House. Thank you for making time, Mr. Ahin. So we're getting the statement coming in from Jubilee House. When was this decision taken?
Let me say good evening to your listeners. This decision was taken a few minutes ago by the President of the Republic. On Tuesday, that's on the 26th of June, the President, a letter was sent to the President by the Chief Justice, and around the same time the letter came in, the President was already in Togo. So upon arrival in Ghana last night, the President had a look at the letter that was brought to him. He studied it, and this morning, as per the Constitution, when a report of such nature comes before him, he has no option but to act on the content of that particular report. The report made it clear, it was unequivocal that the three persons, i.e. the chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Madame Charlotte Osei, and her two deputies, Amadou Sule and Ms. Georgina Opoku-Amankwa, were to be removed as per the content of the report from the committee. So the President, in accordance with Article 146 of the Constitution, has acted on the content of the report and has duly removed the three persons from office.
At the statement that came from the presidency, it says that the committee recommended their removal on the basis of stated misbehavior and incompetence. Can you clarify this misbehavior and incompetence as stated by the committee?
I wouldn't be able to go into too much detail, but I believe in the case of Madame Charlotte Osei, you would all recall that a petition was forwarded by the President to the Chief Justice sometime around the 26th of July last year. And the petition was signed by a gentleman called Mr. Forsen Ampofo, together with some other citizens who had invoked the provisions of Article 146 of the Constitution. I believe that particular report is public knowledge. Likewise, a gentleman by the name of Mr. Emmanuel Kosti Senyo, sometime around the 25th of July, also submitted two petitions to the President against Mr. Amadou Sule and Ms. Georgina Opoku-Amankwa. I believe those petitions are also a matter of public record and public knowledge.
All right. That doesn't mean that the committee was able to confirm the allegations made in these petitions.
By and large, yes, the committee was able to confirm these allegations against the three persons. The reason why the committee recommended the removal of these three persons.
It creates a vacuum there at the Electoral Commission. When are we expecting the replacements to be made?
I wouldn't be able to give you a specific date or a specific time, but what I can assure you, or all I can say in this matter for now, is that as quickly as possible, the President is going to make nominations to these three positions that have become vacant. Yes, I agree with you. There's a vacuum there, and it wouldn't be to the benefit of all Ghanaians if this vacuum remains unfilled for a long time. I can assure you that as quickly as possible, I can assure you the President of the Republic will make the replacement to these two positions.
All right, thank you very much, Eugene Ahin. Eugene Ahin is Director of Communications at Jubilee House, and the news that's in is that the chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Charlotte Osei, and her two deputies, who were cited by various petitions sent to the Chief Justice or to the President, have been removed from office. Still ahead. Breaking news that came up in the last hour that President Akufo-Addo has removed the EC chairperson, Madam Charlotte Osei, and her two deputies from office. National Organizer of the Opposition, National Democratic Congress, Kofi Adams, joins me on the phone. Good evening to you, Mr. Kofi Adams. Now, how did this news come to you?
Of course, this came as a surprise, though we knew right from the beginning that this is what President Akufo-Addo and his MPP government were up to. But we are more than convinced that this is a political decision, it's a dent on our democracy, and it's a shame. And we are not going to just sit idle by to allow for democracy we have so protected up to this point to be destroyed by one person's and his group desire to continue to perpetuate themselves in power, despite their total failures.
Mr. Adams,
it's so clear.
Mr. Adams, what makes this political? Because the due process was followed. There was a petition.
I'm
Essentially,
not interested in those kind of things that you people talk about due process. What is due process in all this?
A petition was filed.
Where is the due process?
A petition was filed, and the Chief Justice.
Are you aware that a petition has been filed also against the Chief Justice? Are you aware that the President who told us that he is just a conveyor of petitions, that there are petitions against other persons?
So due process...
It hasn't been moved. So
due process will be followed.
To sit on one petition and then move another one?
Mr. Adams, more importantly, I think that now that this, because people were asking for a decision to be taken on the commissioner, the chairperson of the commission and the deputies, and because we needed to take this decision because of the upcoming district assembly elections and several other things that need to be done. I believe this decision should rather be welcomed by the political parties.
Should be welcomed by who? This decision, a sham decision, a decision that is intended to perpetuate their rigging system, should be welcome.
How else would you have expected this to be done? It appears we have lost Mr. Adams on the line there. We're trying to see if we can bring him back onto the line. But before then, whilst at it, an Accra High Court has deferred its ruling on an application by the Multimedia Group asking for the dismissal of a defamation case brought against it. Justice Anthony Yeboah explained the court had been notified of an application at the Court of Appeal seeking to halt ongoing proceedings. The Association of Licensed Cocoa Buyers is in court accusing the media group of putting together a documentary containing unverified allegations. The judge on Thursday adjourned hearing to October 18. There is more in the following report. Before then, we have Mr. Adams back on the line. So, Mr. Adams, I was asking you before the line went off, how were you expecting that this case or the petitions that were filed with the president be handled?
In the first place, like he handled the petition against the Chief Justice that he has not forwarded, that he has not acted on, I thought that this was not a petition that he needed to act on. That has been my position, and I haven't changed that position. But because, like we said, it was prepared from his outfit and handed over to him in his outfit, he quickly acted on that one, claiming that he's just a conveyor belt.
On what basis are you coming to this conclusion that it was prepared from the president's outfit?
If it was not prepared, why has he not also become the conveyor belt for the petition against the Chief Justice?
Well, it turns out
if
that
it's just a conveyor belt, why has he not become the conveyor belt for another petition against the Chief Justice?
Now, we're dealing with this particular petition.
That is why I don't deal with one issue, because I'm not myopic in looking. I analyze all the issues that have happened. Then I'll be able to pronounce on one, why one is wrong.
The conversation we're having this evening, Mr. Adams, has to do
and I'm telling you that
with
the conversation you are having, you cannot restrict me. If your desire is to restrict me, then I thank you. This evening we end the conversation. I am looking at many issues. If the president says he was just a conveyor belt, and that you argue that due process has been followed, because all he does is to receive the petition, pass it on, and action is done. Why has he not passed on other petitions?
What is the NDC going to do about the removal?
When we meet and then we take a decision, we will communicate that to you. But for now, you are just asking me about my view and feeling about the action that has been taken. But if you're asking me what NDC will do, the NDC will announce its action.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Kofi Adams. Let's get on to Facebook right now, because apparently there are some reactions there. We'll take those reactions right about now. It has to do with the removal of the chairperson of the Electoral Commission. We have one from reaction from Nana Uyeleta, who has just made the photo of the chairperson of the Electoral Commission as her display photo, and with the caption, "Sad day for Ghana." And we also have a reaction to the removal of the chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Madam Charlotte Osei. We have a reaction from the petitioner. So we have one of the petitioners, Maxwell Opoku-Ajimang, who says, when an incompetent petition succeeds, your song in chorus sing is hallelujah. We have been trying to reach him, but we have been unsuccessful so far.